Holy crud. Are you kidding me? You kids want to see a nuke? This place is awesome. We're in Atwater, California at the Castle Air Museum. Welcome to the Something or Other tour. It's honest to goodness nuke. Welcome to the Something or Other tour. Today we're in Atwater, California at the Castle Air Museum. The Castle Air Museum covers all of the United States military aviation history. There's over 70 planes in this collection. And what you didn't know about this shot, look up. We're right under a wing. Huh? Look at that. This is in Atwater, California, near Merced, out in the middle of the state. And I believe this land used to be part of the Castle Air Force Base. I'm actually here for work, working at the old Air Force Base. And this place just happened to be on my list of episodes I wanted to do eventually. So it worked out, here I am. For an extra $1, you get this really cool map. Shows all the planes, the whole grounds. That's one of the coolest ceiling fans I've ever seen. We gotta run some tests and simulations, just got word. This is a Boeing Super Fortress. That's a big boy. Oh man, this is daunting. There's so many planes out here. How cool is this? A time capsule to commemorate when Castle Air Force Base went out of service in 1995. Set to be opened in 2095. I hope I make it. Hope I can see what's in there. Hey, it's the hog hauler. Huh? It's perfect for me and Cole. This would be the official Something or Other tour bird right here. The hog hauler is the Fairchild C-123 K provider, almost 76 feet long. I had no idea that Saab made planes. If you would have quizzed me, I maybe would have guessed, but I never would have guessed fighter jets. Some of these, they're currently reworking. They got a bunch of big plans to restore and preserve all these birds for a long time. I love this kind of stuff. This place just keeps curving around, going further and further. This is a goofy looking copter. This is an Air Force rescue copter though, pretty cool. Dual rotors. Is that how you say it? Dual rotors? Yes, something like that. This is a Douglas C-47. Wow. You know, it's one thing to see planes like this at a museum or exhibition of some sort, but then picturing them just humming over the Pacific, it's crazy, right? If you've never been to an air show, you owe it to yourself to go to an air show. Early on in this channel, we got the chance to fly on a 1929 Ford Tri-Motor. I took the boy himself, Jet, with me. Actually, more like he took me with my aunt and uncle. And that was an absolute thrill. Can't wait to do it again sometime. Wish I could fly on the F-42 Honker here. Look at this thing. I can't even reach that. Golly, huh? This is actually a B-52 Strato Fortress. Said it in the earlier episodes, but to my dumb brain, I have no idea how that thing flies. It's just crazy. It's nuts. Look at that thing. This B-52 here was part of the ArcLight fleet, which was a fleet that made runs all over Vietnam, Cambodia, and those areas into the early 70s. This is a shooting star. These planes are awesome. As you can tell, very nimble. This is a Cessna Tweet. So this is where you get your breaking news and your daily dose of outrage and hate. Definitely want to thank all the donors and sponsors that keep places like this alive. There's so much history wrapped up in places like this that we shouldn't forget, and we should appreciate the technological innovation as well. Here's another shooting star. What a beauty. This is a Northrop T-38 Talon. It just looks fast, huh? What we got here is a KC-135 Strato tanker, part of the Strategic Air Command. And it's a local boy. stationed right here in Atwater at Castle Air Force Base. The KC-135 is over 136 feet long. On the back of this bad boy, they got this giant boom to help refuel other jets in the air. If you've never seen it done, go right now and watch a video of it being done. It's just mind-boggling. The other jet literally flies up to this thing and connects it to the nose of their plane and refuels in the air. I wish I could hear the first meeting of someone proposing that idea. Well, we could just refuel them in the air. What? Probably got laughed out of the room. Then look, they did it. Unfortunately, I'm here on a very slow weekday. Just like the Flying Leatherneck Aviation Museum we did on this channel a long time ago. They have special days where they open up the cockpits. And in a lot of these planes, you get to sit down, take pictures, check out the cockpit. Of course, that's not going on today. So we'll have to come back. This B-36 is under renovation right now. Wow. It's so big. This is also part of Strategic Air Command. As a struggling artist myself, the insignias are one of my favorite things. Are we talking nukes? This is an actual casing that was found at a nuclear test site, hollowed out, hopefully, and put here on display. Wow. Watch this. Yeah. Whew. All right. It's not live. Hello in there. I'm gonna say, I set foot in a nuclear bomb. I'm in a nuclear bomb. We're in a nuclear bomb. Should I do the robot with the nuke? Nuclear robot. This blows my mind. Check that off the bucket list. I just saw a nuke. So this bomb would go in a plane, much like this, into one of these bays right here. Look at this. Huh? They even got a bench for you. Oh my goodness. This is where the nukes would be, right here. Just, the entire world is different. Just like that. Bomb rack receptacle. I want to write it down like the scene in Dr. Strangelove. Holy crap, man. Unreal. Can you believe this? I sure can't. I assume this is another sort of bomb here. I don't know anything about it. There's no info. If anyone knows what a rascal is, please leave a comment. Let me know. I like to get the info from some of our viewers. It's funner for me than just Googling it. There's bombs out there. What is that? No idea what this is. Underground bunker? I always wanted an underground bunker. I don't know if it's because I'm paranoid or I just like to have fun. So I think it's safe to say if you see one of these humming towards your dorm room, duck and cover. Alright, I think we're getting into my favorites. Looks like a F-16 Falcon over here. When it comes to aesthetics and design, I don't think anything beats the F-16. It would be hard to top. It would definitely be on everyone's top list, you know? Just an absolutely gorgeous plane. This particular F-16 was part of the Air National Guard, based out of Fresno, California. F-15s are also awesome. I always preferred the Tomcat though, because they were very similar, but the Tomcat had 2 pilots, which I always thought was cool, but still awesome plane. How did they make these albatrosses fly? Big fat guy. Let's go take a look at that radar dish. How awesome. This radar set was built in 1958, so you know what it was built for, to keep tabs on those Ruskies. Oh, there's a helicopter taking off over there. Oh my God. Looks like it's got twin rotors. Can anyone identify that? Or identify this bug? At the very back here, it looks like they have their restoration yard. I'm weird, so I like stuff like this. They got everything back there. Wings, fins, tails, rotors, propellers, smokestacks, gadgets, gizmos, rotary girders, hoplops and gobnobs, axles, motherboards, nuts, bolts, gears, winky-doos, hodgy-podgies, oopsie-does-its. Really everything you can think of to restore these bad boys. Unfortunately, I don't see a placard for this one, but it says San Jose, which is right down the street from me. Wonder if this was stationed at Moffett. That'd be cool. If you walk to the back here, peek through the fence, see some of the old barracks. Oh, and there's a kitty cat. This is some of the old military housing. I don't know if they're barracks per se, but something like it. These ones aren't restored. That's a EA-6B Prowler behind me. Top speed of almost 700 miles an hour. But if you thought the Prowler was fast, check out the Vigilante. Top speed of over 1,300 miles per hour, man. I love that the placards tell you that kind of information. It's always fun. You got the Sky Warrior. You got the flying boxcar. There's so much here, I couldn't possibly fit it into one decently length video. F-106 Delta Dart. Commander John Marcotti, I'm not sure how to say it, flew this bad boy. It was stationed here at Castle Air Force Base and then eventually down in Oxnard, California. John Marcotte was a founding member and avid supporter of the Castle Air Museum, and this was one of his favorite planes to fly. And it's got a crystal ball so you can see the future. He was shot down in World War II and survived as a POW, and then he continued to fly all the way through Vietnam. They say he destroyed over 200 anti-aircraft guns. He retired nearby, lived in Merced until he passed away in 2014. Really cool piece of history. This Delta Dagner has the latest in stealth technology. What a beautiful plane, huh? Castle Air Force Base was one of the casualties of the end of the Cold War. So all during the Cold War, right after World War II, we kept ramping up our military presence, our technology, our research. And then when the Soviet Union collapsed in the early 90s, we had way more stuff than we needed. So bases like this became sort of unnecessary. So all through the 1990s, they closed so many bases and things like that, including Fort Ord, which we explored on this channel not too long ago. And this was another one that they shut down in 1995 because they felt it was no longer necessary. Speaking of, here's a Soviet MiG right here. USSR MiG. And they're bringing in a MiG-17 soon. That's what's cool about these places. They keep adding and restoring and stuff. Oh, Phantom II. F-4 Phantom. I think this is a Thunderbird, flown by Colonel Douglas Roach. This Phantom was part of the Thunderbird squadron. It was for demonstration and air shows and things like that, akin to the Blue Angels. Ah, they do have a Tomcat. Top speed of over 1,500 miles per hour. It's like Mach 2 point something. Highway to the danger zone. Huh? Top Gun. I think there's birds in here. Oh, there's birds up there. They must have made a comfy home. Ah, these bugs are all over me. Jeez, good Lord. Even our Canadian friends are represented here at the Castle Air Museum. You really gotta come here yourself to get a sense of the scale of these things. They're huge. And to think they fly, I can't process it. This is a B-24 Liberator. I believe World War II era. I could be wrong. So cool. That Lazy Daisy May. As part of the tour, they also have an indoor museum here. There's the namesake. We talked about this on our USS Midway episode a long time ago, but on ships and whatnot, they'll set up a table for one in memoriam for servicemen that are killed in action or missing in action, or a prisoner of war. Unfortunately, I'm out of time. I could honestly do a full episode of just this indoor museum. There's so much stuff packed in here. Definitely one of the stars of the show here is this SR-71 Blackbird. In its heyday, this was the world's fastest plane. Could you imagine the power this thing puts out? Unreal. And how loud it would be? Pretty sure I got to see one at one of the air shows at Moffett Field a long time ago. I stand corrected, the SR-71 is still the world's fastest plane. I don't believe its records have been broken yet. First built in 1964, it was instrumental in winning the Cold War, if that's what you want to call it. Its max speed, which I don't think they ever appropriately measured because the jet just started coming apart, was over 2,100 miles per hour. That's about Mach 3.2, I believe. This is really incredible piece of technology, right? Next to the SR-71, they have the Castle Air Museum Memorial Brick Park with tons of names of servicemen and women. Beautiful tribute to those who served. This is a Douglas VC-9C presidential aircraft, part of Air Force One. This served the administrations of President Ford, Carter, Reagan, H.W. Bush, Bill Clinton, and George W. Bush. It served all the First Ladies, Barbara Bush, Hillary Clinton, cabinet members, the vice presidents, Dan Quayle, Al Gore, and they do tours of it on Saturdays and Sundays, I believe. So I'm not gonna be able to do it today, and it says photography prohibited anyways, which is too bad. But how cool to see this up close. Honest to goodness Air Force One, huh? Just think, the presidents were peering out those windows. Honest to goodness Air Force One. What do you kids think of that? I've always wanted to see an Air Force One plane. Finally get to see one. All right, that's it for the Castle Air Museum here in Atwater, California. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you're ever near here, near Merced, stop on by, get a ticket, give a donation. I got my souvenir shirt, a little Suvi. If you'd like to support more, check out our Patreon. We have an exclusive podcast with behind the scenes stories and whatnot going up there. Like, subscribe, share, do all the cool things that cool kids do. Thanks for watching. Something or other to a Vertlife. I'm fortunate enough to be staying at some restored barracks this week. I wish I could tell you guys why, but I can't. I will get in trouble. Wouldn't it be nice if someday we get to the point where this is all just long lost history? War is no longer a thing. Everyone's comfortable with the resources they need, the safety they need, the comfort they need. Bye, butterfly friend.